Hello, hello. I'm live from a desktop after a while. And I had to do this because all the things that I was doing on the phone, they weren't giving me the joy of doing live. So I thought I will use the desktop to do it. Plus, I think the camera is better here and I like the idea of seeing myself unblurred. In fact, here's a quirk about me that often when I go live, I need to be or live or I'm in a call. I need to be able to see myself when I do those calls, and I also want to be able to see other people when I do those calls. So if there are calls wherein I'm the only one who got the camera on, I get extremely jaded and distracted. I'm not able to do those calls well. So this is my way of trying to make up for the last few days of mobile phone streaming live conversations. Here I am on the desktop. Let's see how this session goes. I have to talk about something that I spoke about yesterday, but the audio was not there at all. I mean, clear is one thing, but there was not there. The entire thing was about how I love my people, even though they have insane flaws, or they may not agree to what I say, or they may not like what I say, or I may not like what they choose to do with their lives. And I have to give you talk about a few specific instances. The other day, I think 2 3 days ago, I bumped into a very young girl who used to work with C4E as an intern, and she did work with us for about I think 6 7 months or something. I don't remember. And she didn't work very closely with me. She used to work with other people. But I was extremely fond of that person, and I knew that the person will do well in life. And obviously, super happy about that person doing and they're doing well, extremely well now, to a point that I think they make more money than what C4E would anybody at C4E makes. And obviously, super young and super ambitious and super bright and all of that. And I realized that I miss the fact that I cannot talk to that person. Similarly, yesterday I was at a friend's house and I met Prakriti. And Prakriti was a very integral part of C4E for a long time. And I think she's chosen to obviously she's chosen to move on from C4E and she's doing something else with her time in life. But uh, but the fact of the matter is that when I met her, I was like, yeah, I miss hanging out with her. I miss the fact that I can no longer talk to her whenever I want to talk to her, and that is not something that I enjoy. So the entire point is that the thing that I lived with all my life, what I used to call it, people create magic. I think that's extremely true, and I really enjoy the idea of having my people around me, and I wish I didn't have to sort of part ways with my loved ones. And for me, unlike a lot of other people, for me, my work life and home life and personal life are all intertwined. There is no boundary between what I do with my life and what I want uh, uh, other people to do. So for me, all the colleagues are like my family, and I mean it in like a non-corporatish manner. I know families are is a abused word for corporates to ensure that people tend to sort of stick to you. But for me, man, they're like as close to family as possible, and I do not know how to keep this crowd together, how to keep this village together, because a lot of it depends on individual people and their respective wants and loves and rights and quirks. And I know that a village will always be optimized for the collective good and never be optimized for one person's likings. So I know that it may not be optimized for each individual that chooses to work with us or not work with us, but I know that at some point in time, uh, if we reach a point wherein we can tote to the whims and fancies of each individual that chooses to work with us, I think we'll be able to build a family and a village wherein everybody finds their own spots and their own quirks and get there together. So that's one thing that I will probably work towards. I do not know what shape would it take, but each thing that I do starts with the intention of keeping my village, my people, my folks together. And like I said, at some point in time, I would want to do a lot more to that end. I know, it's a very uh, ambitious kind of a plan, but here we are. That's the plan. And if like John Collision, I think Patrick or John, one of those Collision brothers said that the world is a museum of projects. So if my passion project is to keep my people, keep my family, keep my village, keep my colleagues with me as my family members, why not let me chase that passion and see if I can make that happen? So that's the plan, and I hope I'm able to do that over my lifetime. And whenever that happens, let's see when it happens. I think this is it for today. Short and sweet, little personal, but at least I'm glad that I got it out of my system, and then probably I'll write about it on the weekend also. But this is it. Thank you so much for tuning in. The two subscribers, I do not know who those two are, but see you around. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.